The problem began long before his nights became a torment. It began with the betrayal, a wound so deep it felt like it desecrated the very air in your home. It wasn't just the lie that broke you. It was the distinct feeling that his act had torn a spiritual breach in the space you had built together, the sanctuary that was supposed to be safe. You remember it vividly, a chill that had nothing to do with the temperature in the room. It was a coldness that settled deep in your bones, a silent alarm telling you that his infidelity had invited something else, something darker into your lives. Your pain, that profound and aching sorrow, was the first sign. It was the proof that in betraying you, he had shattered a sacred balance, throwing open a door he would never be able to close on his own. And now, you watch him pay the price. The night, which was once a shared comfort, has become his personal reckoning. He confesses this to you, not out of remorse, but out of sheer terror. The moment the lights go out, his torment begins. He speaks of shadows that writhe at the edge of his vision, of a heavy presence that settles on his chest, stealing his breath and pinning him to the bed. It's sleep paralysis, yes, but you both know it's more. It's the physical weight of his spiritual debt. You see the evidence etched onto his face. The deep, dark circles under his eyes aren't just from a lack of sleep. They're from a soul that finds no rest. His gaze is lost, haunted, constantly scanning the room as if expecting something to lunge from the corners. He survives on pills that promise peace, but only deliver a dull, anxious haze. His body is a map of his spiritual decay, a testament to the fact that when he broke his vows to you, he invited a darkness into his home that he can no longer control. Then comes the day he stands at your door, a broken man. He doesn't come asking for forgiveness or professing a change of heart. He comes seeking refuge. He begs you to let him back in, not for love, but for shelter, believing your light can somehow banish the horrors that follow him. But you stand in your quiet strength, your peace a fortress you rebuilt stone by stone. You look at him and you see them, the shadows clinging to him like a second skin. You understand with chilling clarity that letting him in would mean inviting his torment into your sanctuary. And so, with a calm that unnerves him more than any ghost, you give him your answer. Your peace is not negotiable. He must face the phantoms his betrayal summoned, alone. Look, let's talk about what happened. He made a choice. It wasn't just a mistake or a moment of weakness. It was a trade. He took something sacred, the trust, the peace, the very foundation of the home you had built together, and he exchanged it for something fleeting and hollow. When he chose her, he wasn't just choosing another person over you. He was choosing a lie over the truth. He was choosing chaos over the sanctuary you had meticulously built. That decision was the sound of a lock breaking. He thought he was just stepping out for a moment, but he was actually swinging the door wide open, inviting in the very energies that thrive on deceit and broken vows. Every shadow he sees now, every night he spends gasping for air with a weight on his chest, that is the consequence of his trade. He exchanged the warmth of your shared bed for a fleeting thrill, and what he got in return was a cold and permanent haunting. The darkness didn't just find him by accident. He invited it in the moment he broke his promise to you. He is living in the house he chose to build with his betrayal, and now he is terrified of the phantoms that came with it. You see it now, clear as day. This is the harvest. Every choice is a seed, and he planted his in the dark, fertile ground of betrayal. Now, the crop is coming in, and it is a bitter one. You notice the little things first, the way his hands tremble when he reaches for a glass of water, the way he avoids looking at himself in mirrors or reflective surfaces, as if afraid of who might be looking back. He's lost weight, but it's not the kind of weight loss that makes someone look healthier. It's a hollowing out. His skin is pale, stretched thin over his bones, and his eyes, they are the real testament. They are sunken, bruised-looking from the endless nights, but it's the look in them that tells the whole story. It's a hunted look, a constant darting vigilance. He's a man waiting for an attack from an enemy only he can see. When he speaks, his voice is a shadow of what it was. The confidence is gone, replaced by a frayed, anxious edge. He talks about his nights in broken whispers, not as a confession seeking forgiveness, but as a field report from a war zone. He describes the moment the silence of the house becomes heavy, suffocating. He talks about the shapes that gather in the corners of his rooms, indistinct,
but solid enough to make the air grow cold. He tells you about the paralysis, that crushing weight that pins him down, a force that feels ancient and personal, as if it knows him. This isn't just a lack of sleep, it's a complete erosion of his spirit. He is being consumed from the inside out. The peace he stole from your home has been replaced by a permanent, gnawing dread in his own soul. He tried to fill the void he created with something new, but all he did was create a vacuum, and now everything that thrives in emptiness has rushed in to fill it.
You are watching a man become a ghost in his own life, haunted not by spirits, but by the tangible consequences of a broken promise. This is the price he is paying. He is learning in the most brutal way that some doors, once opened, can never be closed again. And so you close the door. There is no slam, no final, angry word, just the quiet click of the lock sliding into place. The sound is absolute. It is the sound of a boundary being drawn, not in anger, but in certainty. For the first time in a long time, the air in your home feels entirely your own. It is clean. It is still. It is safe. Through the peephole, you watch him for a moment. He doesn't leave right away. He just stands there on your doorstep, a man utterly defeated, not by your rejection, but by his own creation. He looks smaller now, diminished, as the shadows you saw clinging to him seem to press in closer. He is an island, and his torment is the sea. You realize, with a clarity that is both chilling and liberating, that you cannot be his lifeboat. To try would only mean sinking with him. This was never about forgiveness. Forgiveness is something you worked on for yourself, a quiet process of releasing the poison of his betrayal so that you could heal. This was about sanctuary. He came to you not as a penitent man seeking to mend what he had broken, but as a terrified child running from a monster of his own making, hoping to hide behind you. He didn't want you, he wanted your light. He wanted to use your hard-won peace as a shield against the darkness he had invited into his own soul. He saw your strength, your serenity, the home you had painstakingly cleansed of his chaos, and he wanted to take shelter in it. He failed to understand that your peace is not a thing that can be borrowed or shared like a coat. It is the result of a war you fought alone in the silence of your own heart after he left. It was built from the rubble of the life he shattered. Every stone of this fortress was laid with your own hands, cemented with your own tears and resolve. It is sacred, and it is not for him. As you turn away from the door, a profound stillness settles over you. This is not the giddy rush of victory or the bitter satisfaction of revenge. It is something deeper, more solid. It is the feeling of sovereignty. You have taken back your life, your home, your spirit. You have looked at the ghost of your past and refused to be haunted. He will have to face his nights alone. He will have to confront the presences that his own actions summoned from the dark. Whether they are phantoms of his mind or something more, it makes no difference. They are his. They are the price of his choices, the harvest of the seeds he sowed. His path from here is his to walk. You are finally, truly, free of the responsibility for his soul. Your only duty now is to guard your own. And as you walk into the quiet, peaceful heart of your home, you know with every fiber of your being that you have made the only choice you ever could. You chose yourself. The signs are always there, if you know where to look. They are not dramatic, public displays of ruin. They are subtle erosions, the quiet crumbling of a man from the inside out. This is what you see now. Look at his face. It's not just the exhaustion, though that is etched deep around his eyes, turning the skin a bruised, delicate purple. It's the emptiness behind them. His gaze is unfocused, as if he's perpetually looking past you, scanning the corners of the room for something you can't see. The life, the confidence that once animated his features has been siphoned away, leaving behind a hollow mask. He looks like a man who hasn't had a single moment of genuine peace in months, and his soul is wearing out. Then there is his behavior. He has become a fugitive in his own life. Notice how he startles at sudden sounds, how his hands are never quite still, always fiddling with a cuff or tapping on a table. He can't stay in one place for long, a restless energy pushing him from room to room as if trying to outrun something. He avoids quiet moments. The silence is no longer a comfort, it is an amplifier for the dread that lives in him. He is jumpy, evasive, and his conversations are shallow, a frantic attempt to create noise and distraction, to keep from having to face the stillness where his phantoms wait.
And finally, consider his environment, the new life he chose. It is a world defined by a profound coldness. It's not about the temperature of the room he is in, but the absence of warmth in his existence. The sanctuary he shattered with you was never replaced. What he has now is just a space, a collection of rooms where he is haunted. There is no shared laughter that soaks into the walls, no feeling of safety when the door is locked. There is only a sterile, silent vacancy. He is utterly alone, even if someone else is there with him, because the torment is his and his alone. He lives in a house, but he has no home. He is surrounded by the life he chose, and it offers him no shelter at all. And what comes next is the long, quiet aftermath. Do not mistake this quiet for a lack of activity. It is the most powerful state of being, the peace that follows a war you have won. For him, the future is a long road back to himself, if he ever finds it. He will have to walk it alone. He might try to find other remedies, other people to use as shields.
He may change cities, change jobs, change partners, desperately seeking an external solution for an internal collapse. But the shadows will follow, because he carries them inside him. They are not in the corners of his room. They are in the corners of his soul. He is tethered to the consequences of his choices, and no one can sever that rope for him. His journey is his own. It will be a painful, perhaps lifelong reckoning with the integrity he abandoned. He must learn to sleep in the dark he created. But your future, that is a different story. It is a story you are now free to write on clean, empty pages. Your home is no longer a crime scene, a place of broken vows and lingering sorrow. It is a sanctuary again, and you are its sole guardian. The peace you feel is not a fleeting emotion, it is a foundation. You will find that the silence is sweet. The solitude is replenishing. You will learn to trust the stillness again. You did not destroy him by closing the door. You simply allowed the natural order of things to run its course. You let his choices bear their own fruit. Your final act was not one of cruelty, but of profound self-respect. You honored the hard work of your own healing by refusing to allow the source of the wound back into your sacred space. You chose the life you deserved over the ruin he offered. And that is the ultimate liberation, understanding that you are not responsible for saving him from himself. Your only duty is to protect the peace you fought so hard to rebuild. It began with the desecration of a sacred space, your home. The betrayal was more than a lie, it was a spiritual violation. You felt it instantly, a coldness that had nothing to do with the air temperature. It was the chilling recognition that his infidelity had torn a hole in the fabric of your shared life, inviting something dark and heavy into the one place you were supposed to be safe. Your pain wasn't just heartbreak, it was an alarm. The first tangible proof that in breaking his vows, he had shattered a fundamental balance, opening a door he would never be able to close. Now you watch him pay the price. The night, once a sanctuary for rest, has become his personal torture chamber. He confesses this to you, not out of remorse, but out of sheer terror. The moment the lights go out, it begins. He speaks of shadows that writhe at the edge of his vision and a crushing weight that settles on his chest, pinning him down, stealing his breath. It's sleep paralysis, clinically speaking, but you both know it's more. It is the physical manifestation of his spiritual dead, the tangible weight of his broken promise. His decline is written on his face. The dark, sunken circles around his eyes aren't just from a lack of sleep. They are the marks of a soul that finds no rest. His gaze is haunted, constantly scanning the room as if expecting an attack. He survives on pills that promise peace, but only deliver a dull, anxious haze. His body is a map of his decay, a testament to the fact that when he betrayed you, he invited a malevolence into his life that now consumes him. Then comes the day he appears at your door, a broken man. He doesn't come asking for forgiveness or professing love. He comes seeking refuge. He begs you to let him back in, hoping your light, your hard-won peace, can act as a shield against the horrors that follow him. But you stand in your quiet strength, looking at him and seeing them clearly, the shadows clinging to him like a second skin. You understand with chilling certainty that letting him in means letting his torment in too. And so, with a calm that unnerves him more than any phantom, you turn him away. Your peace is not a sanctuary for him. It is not negotiable. He must face the darkness he summoned, alone. And then, the moment will come. It won't be a dramatic confrontation under a stormy sky. It will be quiet, insidious,
arriving through the cold blue light of your phone screen, a message, or perhaps a call in the dead of night, when you know his terror is at its peak. He will reach out, his words a frantic scramble for purchase on the smooth wall of your new life. He won't speak of love or remorse. He will speak of the fear. He will describe the silence in his house, the way it buzzes with a hostile energy, the way the shadows in the corner seem to breathe. He is not calling for you. He is calling for a human shield. As you listen, or as you read his desperate words, something will become utterly and finally clear. You will feel no echo of your past love, no pang of pity, not even the hot satisfaction of vengeance. You will feel nothing but a profound and peaceful distance. It will be like listening to a radio broadcast from a war-torn country you will never visit. His suffering is real, but it is no longer yours. His ghosts, his darkness, his self-inflicted torment, they are his possessions now, and you have no room for them in your home. You will realize, with a clarity that feels like a cold, clean drink of water, that he is trying to make you a party to his haunting. He wants to drag you back into the dark with him because he is too afraid to face it alone. That is when you will cut the cord. There will be no long, tearful explanation, no final list of his sins. Your response will be an act of pure, simple boundary. You might type, "Do not contact me again," and block his number.
Or you might say it into the phone, your voice even and calm. This is not my burden to carry anymore. You will offer him no comfort, no absolution, because you understand that to do so would be to offer yourself up as a sacrifice. You will hang up the phone or press send, and the action will feel like the final, decisive click of a lock falling into place. It is done. The last bridge to that old haunted land has been burned, not in anger, but in the name of your own survival. A silence will follow, but it will be a different kind of silence. It will be clean, whole, and entirely your own. The air in your home will feel lighter. The weight of his chaos, an obligation you didn't even realize you were still carrying, will lift from your spirit completely. You have walked out of his prison, and you have finally, definitively locked the door behind you. I am free.